What do you think attributes to why there's such a high failure rate in real estate?
I think the reason why there's such a high failure rate is because a lot of people are very...
Those parts of North London,
Yes.
I find that people are very much like quite salt of the earth, as
Yeah.
in like,
Yeah.
they'll just be like, you'll knock on the door and they'll be like, what do you want? And then you'll
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
and if it makes sense,
Yeah.
they'll go, all right, then come in.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like that, isn't it? That's
yeah,
kind of how it is.
100%.
It's
100%.
really like black and white, and it's like there's no messing. There's a lot of, a lot of straight people in that area.
Definitely.
But that works so well for me. What would be your advice to them to be able to start making these connections and actually breaking into the luxury end of the market as opposed to the lower end?
Yeah. I would say if you come into the industry, you have to have first of all, you need to ensure that you know what you're talking about.
Yes, I said rent it out, you're not going to sell it.
Yeah.
All right, fine, what are you suggesting? I said, right, get the other agent off, it's going offers over $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this sold in 1 week, right? I swear, we had 65 people at that open house. The whole of Beach Hill was like rammed with cars.
Amazing.
And we had like 24 offers and I sold it for 1.25. Welcome to the YouTube channel and today's podcast. I'm with a mega agent, James Doherty from the UK, part of the Tyron Ash International team. So James is a very, very successful agent within the business. I'd say, just to give a very, very quick snapshot, some huge deals, some huge sales being done, ranging to kind of anywhere between £1 million and £3 million plus. Last month, he earned in excess of £20,000 net. And this month, it's going to be looking like it's over £30,000. So amazing, amazing income. When I think about, even when I started out in agency and I was on I'd be happy if I broke £2,000 a month. How do you, how have you kind of, how has your real estate journey unfolded to leading up to that, and how did it all sort of begin?
Thanks, Ty. I appreciate that. It's been an absolutely fantastic opportunity, and to be able to kind of make those kind of numbers. I've always had a passion for real estate. So I was in the corporate environment for quite a while.
Nice.
So about 20 years plus doing pharmaceutical sales and marketing and basically selling surgical instruments to surgeons and so forth. Nice. But in the background, I always was like, real estate is really my passion, and real estate is an opportunity where you can use it as a vehicle for your freedom to build a legacy, to build that security as well. So from my point of view, I was like, I need to learn about real estate. So I started putting myself out there, looking at different kind of seminars and so forth. Yeah. And then I got into it, whereby I basically started off very small, kind of the corporate letting side of things. So doing like short lets and so forth. Yeah. And that kind of gives you cash flow to start with, and then I got into build investments and development myself.
Nice.
So buying 1 beds, develop them into 2 beds.
Nice.
And then I was like, you know what? It's all right working with investors, but I wanted to be my own investor.
Yes.
And that's where you come in with real estate and selling luxury real estate, where you can get a huge amount of capital.
Absolutely.
And then you can either use that, to better your life
100%.
in terms of legacy, in terms of security. And, I came across you, and we actually met at one of those seminars, basically. And I had a conversation, and obviously the synergy was there. Yes. And I totally like what you do, and also the difference you make as well. So I wanted to be a part of that. Amazing. But I wanted to come in at the right time. So for me, I wanted to make sure I could give it 125%. And that's exactly how it all came about, really.
It's amazing. I think that's a great kind of analysis, and I remember it well because I think I was doing a talk at this show, and it was around real estate sales and that type of thing. And obviously, I remember us meeting. I remember you saying you had an interest in it, and it was something that you would get in touch with us about.
Yeah.
And then I think a good year must have
Yes,
passed.
100%.
Year and a half. And I thought, so when your name actually popped up, I was like, oh, he did actually get back in touch. It was quite a nice surprise. Because I did get a very, very good feeling when we met.
Yes, 100%.
When we met, and I thought that you would absolutely kill it. So let's talk about, I guess, how, because there's a big failure rate in real estate.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you're there. hands-on, you're meeting clients, you're listing properties, you're making deals, you're getting deals done.
Yeah.
What do you think attributes to why there's such a high failure rate in real estate?
I think the reason why there's such a high failure rate is because a lot of people are very impatient. They kind of feel that they want it to happen today.
Yes.
And they don't want to put the time, they don't put the effort, they don't want to put the grind in. You know what I mean? You've got to be resilient. It's not going to happen immediately.
Yeah.
And you've got to build your clientele, you've got to build your reputation, your credibility, and also the fact that a lot of people don't have they don't have the energy as well. So I think the first thing for me is the mindset. And I think a lot of people have a fixed mindset.
Yeah.
If it's not happened the first week or the first month or the first 3 months, oh, it's not for me, or I'm gonna jack it in.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, you have to put 125% in, but firstly have a great mindset.
Yes.
If you have a great mindset that it's possible,
yes,
you know, and especially what you teach in terms of the knowledge, in terms of your mentorship, it's been absolutely fantastic. And that gives you the ability that it is possible.
100%. I couldn't agree more, because it is like music to my ears. And I think one of the happiest things for me and the nicest things is, you know, I try my very, very best to give everybody the complete blueprint, like where you start, how you market yourself, how you get yourself out there, meet the clients, close the meetings, get the meetings won, get the properties listed, get the properties sold, price them correctly, all these different components.
Certainly.
Because each thing, there's so many different plates that you have to spin in real estate.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're the world's best real estate agent or you're the world's worst real estate agent, you've still got 101 things to do.
Indeed.
And that means that it needs, you mentioned about massive energy. It needs huge, huge energy. It also needs a massive desire to learn, because the one thing is with real estate is it's a little bit like you are learning to ride a bike, but you don't get the stabilizers. That's what it is. It's literally that. So it's like you just have to start pedaling. You're going to fall over. It's going to hurt, and you're going to go, "Fuck that! I'm not doing that again."
Yeah.
Or you go, right, let me just try again, and you fall over again. And that's what it is. You don't get the stabilizers. And I think that's where a lot of people do fail, is they want it now. They want to be able to ride that bike straight away.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, and they're 3 months in, sometimes even 6 months in, you know, I remember when Paul Hutchinson, he started with us in Dubai, like, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
He did not do a deal for 5 months. And he had one particular deal that fell apart 4 times, and he sold it on the 5th occasion. And he said, I don't even care about the deal. I'm just so annoyed with that deal. I have to tie it up.
100%.
Like, it was one of them.
100%.
And then fast forward, if he'd have given up at 3 months, where would he be?
I mean, he's smashing it now.
And now he's got a pipeline of going into Q1. He's got a pipeline of 1.65 million dirham in fees.
Wow.
And you know, he's now changed his outcome, his family's life, everything. And I just think to myself, that's what real estate is. That is what it is. So where have you been operating? So where have you been operating in London? So you've been hovering around kind of like that North London borough, haven't you?
Yes. So I've been around the Barnet, the Hadley Woods.
Nice.
I love
that area.
Yeah, that's a very good area. The Radlets, Mill Hill especially, and then now kind of venturing all around London really. I've sold recently at Wandsworth in southwest London.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
So the fifth 1.5 million pound one, and also Hendon.
Hendon's a great area.
Hendon's a really good area as well. So really establishing myself around that area and get my name known as well around that area.
That's it. I love that area, because in kind of Barnet, going into those parts of North London, I find that people are very much like quite salt of the earth. As in, like, they'll just be like, you'll knock on the door and they'll be like, "What do you want?" And then you'll talk, and if it makes sense, they'll go, "All right, then come in."
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like that, that's kind of
100%.
how it is. It's
100%.
really like black and white, and it's like there's no messing. There's a lot of you know, a lot of straight people in that area.
Definitely.
But that works so well for me.
Exactly.
Because I could just go, right, no worries. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Just let me in for half an hour.
Yeah.
I'll be able to get you the best price for your house.
100%.
I'll outperform these idiots that you've got the board up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Just get me in, etc., etc. And I was listing loads of houses doing it. And I think that's what I've seen, is that you've been picking up some great houses.
Yeah.
What's been like your favourite areas in that kind of part of London?
I have to say it's probably Arkley.
Arkley's
Yeah, Arkley, Barnet Road and
Barnet
Arkley.
Road, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do like that area very much. And you know, got good amount of success in that area. And it's that thing in terms of, you know, actually trying to break the mold around there, because it's a very conventional approach.
Yes.
So the good thing about what we do is the innovation and the proactiveness of what we do.
Yeah.
And in terms of, we will work relentlessly to get the results. And I think that's a breath of fresh air when you're talking to this high net worth individuals. And, you know, they're kind of used to the conventional way, the old fashioned way. Oh, it's going to take 6-8 months to sell my house. That kind of thing is going to...
Because they accept it, don't they?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And I think it's just substandard.
Yeah.
It really is substandard. And I think it's about educating them as well. There's a bit of education side of things comes into it to actually try and break that mold. And I think that's something that we do very, very well. And it's something that, you know, with the training, with the education, with the resilience, and also the fact that we will work relentlessly to get the results done. And I think, for me personally, I like to just prove people wrong.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing. I think, you know, if the odds against you or people say it's not possible, I always like to believe it's possible.
100%.
And I like to show people that, you know,
Brilliant.
rather than just say it, because a lot of people say it as well.
Of course.
You know,
I think what I found as well is, like, everyone who starts out in real estate always gives it I'm going to give it 100%. I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to do all the self-development. I'm going to be on every training session. Give me this chance and I will make all this money for you, for the company, for me, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, cool. All right, let's go. And then it's like, right, they start, and then they knock like a few doors, and then they get a few doors slammed, and then it's like, well, that person's gone really quiet now. And you know, and that often happens is that it's a little bit of the placebo effect. So it's like, I'm going to be a real estate agent. I'm going to give it 100%. And then when it doesn't go the way Selling Sunset said it would on Netflix,
I know, exactly.
Whatever, then you're like, oh, this isn't actually what I signed up for. I thought they were just going to give me the keys to a £10 million house. I was going to show millionaires, and then they were going to buy it and give me commission. That's what I thought I was going to do. Forget about the fact that you've got to win the millionaire over who owns the home.
Exactly.
Who's already got existing relationships with other agents. And you've got to now, in about 30 seconds, demonstrate why they need to have a sit down and a chat with you over a relationship they've had with someone in the industry for 10 years.
Certainly.
And that's the
100%,
boundaries you have to break.
No, definitely. And definitely, I totally agree.
And I think, like, when it comes to like luxury property, you're dealing with a different caliber of person. So these are people who own businesses, they've been in high flying jobs, and they understand money, they understand the economy, and they are quite shrewd. I always find they're quite shrewd. When you've got people who are coming new into the industry, what would be your advice to them to be able to start making these connections and actually breaking into the luxury end of the market as opposed to the lower end?
I would say if you come into the industry, you have to have first of all, you need to ensure that you know what you're talking about.
Yes.
All right. Don't go there and just glag your way through and just be like, I can sell your house. You have to come there to deliver value, but also to understand the caliber of the customers you're working with. They don't want you to ramble. They want you to get straight to the point. They want you to deliver the message in a way they're going to understand, but also in a way in which you're relatable.
100%.
If you're not relatable and just like, oh hi, I'm here trying to, can I sell your house? You know, that's no substance.
Yes.
You have to come in with substance so they understand exactly what kind of value you bring, but also not just saying value, but then showing them the value. That's the difference.
Because it always goes into like the kind of features of why somebody should do business with you, why they should list a house with you. But it's really that so what factor. It's like, for me, I always remember whenever I was in a market appraisal and I had a seller in front of me, I would always have a bit of a trigger, like an alarm going on in my head, that when I'd explain something that was for them in this service, I would always add straight after what it means to them. So, for example, if I'm saying we've got the largest social media presence, you know, across Instagram, across LinkedIn, across Facebook, or whatever it is, most people would stop there. Whereas I would then say, and what that means to you is your property is going to get far more eyeballs on it. We're going to get far more inquiries, and we're going to get far more buyers through the door than your conventional high street agent. So I've then taken the feature, explained the benefit, and I've also made the comparison to their current service or existing relationships they've had with the current agent. And that's exactly how you win a listing. It's about, like you said, delivering that value, explaining the benefit to them. Why do they care? a 60-year-old guy sold his business for 10 million quid or 20 million quid. He doesn't give a shit about social media. He's probably got about 20 followers and they're his family. But when you explain that marketing campaign is going to get them more buyers and he's going to get them more offers, then he'll understand it.
Definitely.
And then he'll buy into it. And
Definitely.
And I think that also feeds into when you've got agents that don't understand how to deliver value, the first thing they go into negotiation on is their fee. Most agents who have no value, what do they do?
The thing about it, if you go straight into talking about the fee, you haven't given them any context. You know what I mean? There's no context. There's no you haven't given them. They don't understand what you bring to the table, which is the fact that you're bringing a different approach, a different way of working, something that's going to really change the market. As you said, we're trying to make sure that they make the eyeballs on your property, but that attention is what leads to us finding that needle in a haystack, 100%. Which is the buyer that you want for your property. So I think that's the best way the way to go about it.
100%. I feel like from my experience, I remember always going into market appraisal meetings, and then the seller would go, "What's your fee?" And I'd say, if you're after the cheapest fee, then you've got the wrong agent. Because I can tell you now, I can give you Purple Bricks' number. They'll do it for £1,000. I said, but just trust me on this. That approach will not get you the best price in the market.
Indeed.
So you've got to decide. Do you want the cheapest fee or do you want the highest net figure after your fee? Which one is it? Obviously, it's extremely loaded as a question, but it effectively shows that difference. Because I also then go on to explain that if all an agent is doing zero market research, listing it at any asking price, and then ringing you up every three or 4 weeks for a price reduction, that is not even worth a 1% fee. You should be paying less.
Indeed.
And so when you get to that fee conversation, what I actually explain is, I don't think we're charging you enough. I think for what I'm about to deliver, I think the fee should be 5%. Because I'm about to get you 10, 15% more than what these rival agents can do. And this is the process that I can do it with. And I think that that's what people really, really struggle with when they're in that conversation with a seller. They cannot, you ask them, why is your fee 2%? Why is your fee 2.5%? And they stutter, they stumble, they don't know how to do it. That was always my silver bullet.
No, I totally agree with you. I think the thing about it is, a lot of people, the focus on the fee, do not actually realize the quality of what you're bringing. I always say whenever a vendor brings up a fee, I say my fee is irrelevant. I say that because the thing about it is, I'm all about results. So if I know what your net take home is, I'm going to work relentlessly to get your net take home figure plus my fee on top. So don't talk to me about fee. Let me deliver the results. And you have to follow my plan of action. And we've got to have that conversation, those conversations that they don't want to have. Right? Because I'm not an agent that's going to let you dictate how I do my job.
This brings us on to a brilliant point next. So I love this point, right? This is one of the most important parts of being a successful agent, is having the conversations that you don't want to have. So most agents think they're customer service representatives. So they will list the property, they'll market it, and then what they'll do is they'll say, oh shit, it hasn't sold yet. And then they think, oh, I'm not going to call that vendor. I'm going to go to another listing or try and win another listing. And then the phone's ringing. The owner's like, why have you got me no viewings? Oh God, I've got a call. Hi, we've had a few inquiries. We're going to just try and book them in, but we need to see what their situations are. Another lie. Right. What we get, and then he turns around to the office and says, we need to get some viewings for Mr. Smith's house because he is on my case. Have you got anyone who will view it? I've been there in that office, by the way, where that's gone on.
Ghost viewings, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember I was in that mindset where I was afraid of having head-on conversations with sellers. And I had a property that was on the market, funny enough, in Hadley Wood, and it was 1.65 million pounds, and it was on the market for 18 months before I got it on. And I met it was a probate, and the brother and the three sisters met me at the property, and we listed it. And they said, you can have it. The local agent, I'm sure you know who they are, they can have it. They've already got it. So you're going to go dual agency at this price, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, I don't really like the fact you're dictating the fee, the process to me, because I was about to tell you exactly what that process was. Well, this is what we've decided, blah, blah, blah. It was decided by the lawyers. And I said, Well, how's your lawyer qualified to sell the property? He's a lawyer. He's not an agent.
Exactly.
So anyway, it was back and forth, back and forth. In the end, it started going stale. 2-3 months in, I was having no viewings. We had, nothing was going on. And I then was ignoring this guy's calls. And then I remember just like, I must have watched something or something clicked in my head. And I went, do you know what? Like, fuck this. So I rung him and I said, are you free for a meeting? I said, because I need to meet with you, the three sisters, and we need to get this thrashed out. So as I did that, I met with them. I went in with my data, my pound per square foot, sold properties in the area, etc., 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 etc. What we realised is that they were around £40 a square foot more expensive than like the nearest sale, because they had a smaller house on the road. They thought they could charge more money, and it had no relation to the actual price in the area. And I said, if you actually looked at the pound per square foot, your property's worth about £1 million, maybe 1.1 at a push. On a very, very good day, 1.2 on a very good day if the planets align, right? But 1.1 is really the mark I've got that it suggests. That's what will stand up in a survey. Oh, well, we can't sell it for that. I said, well, you're not going to sell it now. I said, rent it out. I said, rent it out. You're not going to sell it. All right, fine. What are you suggesting? I said, right, get the other agent off. It's going offers over £1 million. I'm gonna get this sold in 1 week, right? I swear, we had 65 people at that open house. The whole of Beach Hill was like rammed with cars. And we had like 24 offers, and I sold it for 1.25. And that was in 1 week of a property that we couldn't sell in 18 months. And what I'm saying is that all come from having that head-on conversation.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you. It's so important to have that conversation as well, because what a vendor wants and what the market is prepared to deliver is completely different. And you need to have that conversation with them head on, as well as during the sales process, because the market is continuously changing.
100%.
And that's the thing, where a lot of people will not realize that. Think, I want this listing, I'm going to go with what the vendor thinks their house is listed for to get a signature. Anyone can list a house. Anybody can list a house, put in a Rightmove and Zoopla, but can you actually sell it? And as you know, we only get paid on results. So if I'm not selling your house, I don't get paid £1. So I'm not going to take a listing on for the sake of taking a listing. We're not here for ego listings.
100%.
We're here to sell properties.
Absolutely.
Because that's what we get paid for.
Absolutely.
And I think it's that factor, that point right there is what vendors need to realize. Because that's what makes us different from a high street estate agency, right? We're actually unique hybrids. That's what I like to put us, because we're innovative, we're proactive, but we deliver results. We're not here. I'm not going to take your listing on for the sake of it.
No, there's no point.
Plain and simple. Because I don't get paid for it.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And you're never going to get it sold, never going to get paid. It's true.
I call it a real talk conversation. Right? Just have to have that real talk conversation. That difficult conversation is where the money is. After that is where, when you put them 100%. And they actually realize that you're the professional, you're the one that actually sells the properties. You don't go to a hospital and tell a surgeon how to do a surgery, right? It's the same thing, and people need to realize that we do things very differently.
A lot of it comes from the fact that they're so used to dealing with kind of substandard agents that they almost have to dictate to that agent. It's going on at this price. This is the fee, and like the man of the house or the person in charge will just dictate to this agent who's like, he's earning 22 grand a year. He's not really qualified to be selling £1 million plus house.
3 bags full, right?
So it's just like no problem. I'll get on with it. So what are your future plans then?
My future plans is to. I'm thoroughly enjoying my job, my business, and growing it. And to grow it to the maximum level I can. And I think for me, what my future is, continue to grow that, build a legacy, build a security for my family. I recently got married as well, so thinking about the future and so forth as well. But for me, it's now actually going international.
Nice.
For me, coming to the Dubai market, where it's a very fast-paced market, very innovative market. And actually, that part of my international real estate, I would like to actually start doing that. So,
I think you'll hit the ground running.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, my beautiful wife, the next step is that, coming to the Dubai market, looking at the off-plan, looking at the secondary market, and actually bringing something different, because we feel that there is a gap in the Dubai market to what we're used to from selling luxury homes, £1 million homes in the UK, and bringing that to the Dubai market and doing something completely different. And we can't wait. I think we're so excited to get going. And I have to thank you as well, because you've made this possible.
Yeah,
and our partnership is growing every single day.
100%.
And I can't wait to actually get over here and actually start hitting the ground running and make it happen.
Oh, 100%. I think you're going to be an absolute huge success here. Everyone's behind you guys coming over here. And, I think that in the coming months, when you land and you really get stuck into it, I think, you're never going to look back. But, you could make a hell of a career in the UK based on the numbers you're doing. So at least know that either way.
Definitely.
But I think, but look, I want to thank you, for first of all, just your general attitude to the business. I believe that it's infectious. I believe that people feed off the fact that you're consistently putting results in. You're leading from the front. Obviously, we recently, promoted you to the senior partner role, so that makes you a leader within the business. And for me, that is absolutely imperative that people like yourself are at the forefront of the business, because these are where the big clients are going to land. This is where you set examples for newer agents. And, I think personally, it's been a very, very exciting journey, but I feel like we're just getting started.
Indeed. We've only just started, Ty.
Yeah, that's
so much more to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm so grateful for you and our partnership as well. And we can't wait to smash in
Man,
Dubai.
I'll put it there.
Let's go.
Yeah, good. Nice. So thanks for joining us, guys. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And we're looking to bring you as much real estate value and content as possible. See you soon.